The New York Jets have made a bold decision regarding quarterback Justin Fields after his best game in the green and white, and there has been a ton of questions surrounding Fields, and now many are wondering what is behind Aaron Glenn's thoughts here after the Jets have made a bold decision regarding Fields as it pertains to what his role with the team is going to be over the next couple of weeks, as the Jets now have a win on the season, and many fans are hoping that with this win, the team can start to turn around and at least bring themselves into respectability. And we're going to go over all this, discuss exactly what Justin Fields' role is going to be going forwards, and how he would be able to continue really putting up these numbers while also continue as the Jets starting quarterback. Something that has been in question a lot throughout this season, with many calling for Tyrod Taylor to take over at points as well. We're going to talk about all this, guys, but real quick, if you are not a member of that 31% that is subscribed to Jets Digest, if you're part of that 68% that's not subscribed, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to Jets Digest, because we have daily New York Jets updates that you don't want to miss out on. We're having a ton of fun on this channel, and you want to make sure to be subscribed so you don't miss out on any New York Jets news all season long. But with that all being said, let's jump right into the video, guys. There is a lot to go over. As we know, Rich Cimini mentioned that Aaron Glenn was very pleased with the way that Justin Fields managed the game against the Cincinnati Bengals, but he declined to commit if Fields was going to be his starter, saying, listen, I have time to make that decision with the Jets having the bye week right now. And Cimini says, so Fields, despite playing one of the best games of his career, remains in limbo, at least publicly. How could Glenn not ride with Fields? Glenn is probably just playing games again. Now, I know Jets fans are, very they have their specific feelings towards none other than Mr. Rich Cimini, for sure. I'm aware of that. But with all that being said, there definitely has been a lot that we have been curious about with how it goes with Justin Fields, because, yeah, he did play his best game as a Jet, and one of the best games of his career. Again, it was against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that has a historically awful defense, and many pegged this game, including myself and our wonderful Bengals Digest creators as well, for that game to be an absolute firefight, which it was. It was a shootout. There was no doubt about it. And just looking at everything surrounding this team, surrounding the New York Jets, there has been a ton of questions on if Justin Fields will stick around as the team's starter. Now, Aaron Glenn's full quote was, I think you know what my answer is going to be on that in regards to Fields being the starter. This is the bye week, and we're going to focus on us. I have time to make that decision. It seemed like the world was kind of crashing in around Justin, and he just went out there with football on his mind, locked in, played a hell of a game, and led us to a win. He was vocal on the sideline all week long during practice, and none of that changed who he was, all that noise. And Justin Fields even said, it's been a lot for me, emotionally, spiritually. When I was on the field, I was damn near about to start crying. And Fields did admit that he literally was on the Saturday before the game, sitting in his closet on the floor crying, just with all the pressure surrounding him. It was getting to him, and he's a person. It's not surprising that this stuff can get to people. I mean, when the whole world is saying that you're not succeeding, to the point where your owner goes out there and says, well, yeah, how could you have wins with that quarterback? Of course it's frustrating. You want to swing back. You want to show, hey, I'm that guy. Don't you damn forget who I am. So with that all in mind, it absolutely is excellent to see Justin Fields have his best game after that. And there's been a lot of questions. Is he able to hold up? I saw a comment that literally said, well, at the end of the day, it's Justin Fields. Is he going to stick around? Or is that one game of a response, and now we're going to see him revert back to his old ways? And that's the big question surrounding things here, as I just got a lot brighter, like literally. Like brighter, not like spiritually brighter. I'm still an idiot, don't get me wrong. But in regards to Fields and just everything that happened, he had an excellent game against the Bengals. He completed 21 passes in 32 attempts for 244 yards with a passing touchdown as well against the Bengals in Week 8. He played really good football, 65.6 completion percentage. He looked good. He had a QB rating of 99. The man had a great game, no doubt about it. And we've seen Justin Fields have great games before. One of the also things is his game was great from a passing perspective. He did not have Garrett Wilson out there. His best receiver was on the sidelines with an injury. That led to Mason Taylor getting the most receptions and having his best week as a Jet, showing that the Jets have found their tight end of the future, which has been a major position in question. I expect, regardless of who the quarterback is, and I expect it to be Fields, I would imagine that Mason Taylor is now going to be one of the top targets for the Jets for the rest of the season. I think he'll be right up there with Garrett Wilson and with Breece Hall as well. Obviously, the Jets are still going to be a run-first team. That's not going to change. If they can control the pace of games, they'll make it a lot easier to be a run-first team as well, which obviously would be huge for them going forwards. And Look, diving into what Isaiah Oliver said about Fields, he said it seemed like the whole world was kind of crashing in around him, and he just went out there with the football in his mind, locked in, played a hell of a game, and led us to the win. He was vocal, and none of that changed who he was. All that stuff, look, it doesn't really, at the end of the day, Justin Fields still has to go out there and perform on a week-to-week basis. We can't say, oh, he had one good game, let's throw a party. And that's fair. And that is why, one of the reasons why we are seeing Aaron Glenn be so non-committal on Justin Fields. First of all, he doesn't want to tip his hand to the opposition for the rest of the season, saying, yep, Justin's our starter for the rest of the games. Also, there is a world where Fields doesn't perform and that he does put in Tyrod Taylor. We have to remember that. There's a world where Fields doesn't perform and Tyrod Taylor becomes the Jets starting quarterback again. Would you really be that shocked if Justin Fields has another bad game in a Jets uniform? I wouldn't be. Justin even spoke on the criticism from Woody Johnson a couple days ago and said, that's outside noise at the end of the day. I get he's the owner of the team, but it's outside noise. Justin Fields was a little bit dismissal in a good way on Woody Johnson in a way that I absolutely loved. And on top of that, as the Jets QB1, he has 1,377 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions on the season. As Sam Block, who's a huge Justin Fields supporter, said, he's the most unnecessarily hated quarterback in NFL history. The issue is that he doesn't throw with anticipation, and that still hasn't changed, and that is going to be a question going into games going forward. Is he going to be able to be this type of passer against teams that aren't the Cincinnati Bengals? That's really what we have to see. And if the answer is yes, then we're good. Then we're chilling. Everything looks great. On top of that, there was a lot being said by this Twitter user here, Black Johnson, who is a Jets Twitter personality. Make sure to go follow them. They're excellent. And he said that not many are talking about the recent record-breaking stats from the Jets. Most two-point conversions by a player, with Justin Fields setting a Jets franchise record for the most two-point conversions by a single player in the season with 5. They have the second largest fourth quarter comeback, trailing by 15 points at the start of the fourth quarter, with the Jets mounted the second largest fourth quarter comeback in team history. Largest fourth quarter scoring output, the 23 points scored by the Jets in the fourth quarter were their most in any fourth quarter since the year 2000. And if you're counting, that is before I was born. I was born in 2001. On top of that, running back Breece Hall's performance was excellent as Hall became the first non-quarterback in the Super Bowl era to have multiple rushing touchdowns and throw a passing touchdown in the fourth quarter of a single game. Breece and Fields are certified NFL ballers, as Black Johnson mentions, and I'm not going to disagree with that. They went out there and played phenomenal football. And honestly, here's the thing. We have to be real about something, no matter what happens. If Aaron Glenn does not start Justin Fields next week, not like the next week that they play, they're on the bye week, that is such a massive error, and also being so like against your players in a whole lot of ways, that we know that he's not going to do that. We don't even have to create hypotheticals here. We don't. He's not going to do that. That is not going to happen. End of story. We're not going to see that happen. So, at the end of the day, I am really excited to see how this all goes down, because the New York Jets, ultimately, there is going to be a whole lot of questions surrounding what happens next with their team, and I'm really excited to see how all that goes down, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who is the starting quarterback? How long will Justin Fields be the starting quarterback going forwards before more questions arise? How much stock are you taking into this? Let me know. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Go Jets.